Doctor Who The Lonely Assassins is a video game being released on the 19th of March by Maze Theory and Kaigan Games. It looks very interesting and it seems to be incorporating Professor Layton-esque puzzle gameplay into it, and more interestingly, live action footage. And I have a theory that this game may very well be a secret sequel to the Sarah Jane Adventures. So, what evidence do I have to justify such a bold claim? Well, let's rewind and I can take it from the beginning. In the run-up to the release of this game, Maze Theory have released what acts as a sort of prologue to the game, which is called Into the Unknown, and it details the life of Lawrence Nightingale, and we see some of what's happened to him between the events of Blink and present day. And a character mentioned very frequently in this prologue is Rani Chandra, a mainstay of the main Sarah Jane Adventures cast from her first appearance in Day of the Clown all the way up to the final Sarah Jane Adventures story, The Man Who Never Was. And this goes as far as to say that some of the things written on this website were in fact in-universe written by Rani Chandra herself. Obviously in real life they're probably written by Gavin Collinson, who wrote The Edge of Time and is writing both of the new games as well. And this is very interesting, but obviously this just seems like a fun Easter egg, so how have I jumped from Rani Chandra being mentioned on this prologue and jumping to the fact that, oh, this game is a secret sequel to the Sarah Jane Adventures? Well, here comes my second piece of evidence. So back in December of 2020, we saw filming with a weeping angel for what we initially assumed was Series 13 of Doctor Who, although there were some people who were saying that this could in fact be for this game, The Lonely Assassins. At the time I very much was convinced this was Series 13 filming, but now I actually think it was in fact for this game. In the Sarah Jane Adventures, Sarah Jane, for the entirety of the show, lived in 13 Bannerman Road, and her house was the main base of operations for most of the stories, and it had her supercomputer, Mr. Smith, in. However, in reality, this was not in fact a street called Bannerman Road in London, it was a street in Wales called Clinton Road, and this was in fact number 21. And the initial photos of Weeping Angel filming looked like it was on a very similar street to Bannerman Road, or Clinton Road as it is in real life. But of course, most houses in the world probably look like that anyway. However, this is the part that really makes me think this might actually be connected to the Sarah Jane Adventures. This filming for Weeping Angels was in a place called Penarth, and Penarth is in fact where Clinton Road is located. The real life Bannerman Road is located in Penarth, where they were filming with the Weeping Angels in a street that looks suspiciously like Bannerman/Clinton Road. And with this information coupled with the fact that Rani is constantly being referenced in the run-up to this game, these two things have led me to believe that we might possibly be seeing the character of Rani and 13 Bannerman Road in this game, making this a spiritual successor to the Sarah Jane Adventures. And this is very exciting, if I'm right of course. This isn't confirmed in any way, but this evidence is very, very suspicious, and these two things in my head at least seem like they are probably connected. And I would be really, really down for this. I absolutely adore the Sarah Jane Adventures. My nostalgia for it is through the roof. And it's been a shame they've never mentioned it or had any of the cast return to the show as their roles from the Sarah Jane Adventures after it ended in 2011. But perhaps this is the first time that at least sort of main Doctor Who will finally be returning to the world of the Sarah Jane Adventures and giving us closure to the stories that started 14 years ago. Maybe it won't be in it for very long, but if at some point in the story Osgood has to go to Rani and 13 Bannerman Road to see like Mr. Smith or something, even if it's only for 5 minutes of the game, that will still be phenomenal. I would absolutely love to see it. Even if it's just a cameo, I will take anything that references or incorporates the Sarah Jane Adventures characters into it. I, as I said, adore the Sarah Jane Adventures, and nothing can physically hold a candle to the nostalgia I have for it. But what do you think? Do you think these two things are connected, or is this just wishful thinking on my part? I mean, I absolutely have just vivid memories of playing that game on the CBBC website where you have to create platforms with the sonic screwdriver and things for Ryan to get across. If anyone has a copy of that or knows how to find that, please say in the comments down below. I've been searching for that for ages. But whatever you think, whether you think this is a sequel to the Sarah Jane Adventures, I've been Cyberman Alf, and for me for now it's a goodbye.